Hello Rebels, Garrett Robinson here, independent author of the Realm Keeper series, the upcoming novel Rebel Yell, which releases on August 15th, the Touch Trilogy, Non-Zombie, Hit Girls, The Ninja Bread Man, and currently the fantasy serialized adventure Nightblade. This is my show VlogaNovel, where I live create books on streaming video on this YouTube channel for you to watch. Everything from outlining, writing the first draft, editing, and formatting and publication all takes place live for you to watch. If you're a writer, you may enjoy learning somebody else's process. If you're a reader, you may enjoy discovering behind the scenes stuff and things about the characters in the world that don't even necessarily make it into the books. Currently, I'm working on the 4th episode of Nightblade. A new episode releases every Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. If you want to pre-order this episode, episode 4, for only 99 cents, the link in the blue section of the screen down there below my face, garrettbrobinson.com/nb-4 is where you can do that. That is a direct pre-order from me, which is very helpful to me as an indie author, just for the record. And if you have not read the series yet and you want to, you can get the first episode for free on all platforms. Right down there, garrettbrobinson.com/nb-1. And that is free so that you can say, hey, I like this, or no, I don't. And you can make that decision before I've made you shell out any money. So it's very late here, but I have moved on to sort of a half-night schedule. I don't have any classes in the morning, so I can basically sleep in as late as I want to. I should have started work several hours ago, but you know how it is. Things, you get caught up in things, and then it's several hours later, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I need to be working on my book. So, however, right before I started this, I did publish an article that I'm actually really happy with. It's called Fantasy Women. It's on my site, garrettbrobinson.com, and it's about women in fantasy, because women are pretty horribly, like, women in fantasy is not good. There's not a lot of interesting female characters in the big series. There's not a lot of women just aren't treated very well. There's not a lot of representation. There's not a lot of interesting female characters in most fantasy. But yeah, I just published that article right before this went live, and it's getting posted on a couple of Tumblr blogs and some, I just posted it to Reddit and everything. So happy about that. So it wasn't exactly wasted time, but it was just something that I did, and now I'm ready to start working. So right now we're outlining episode 4. Now, technically, we already outlined episode 4. Here's the chapter outlines and everything like that. So what I want to do with this hour and probably the next hour is work on the world more world building, more magic, but we're going to start off with the map. So let's get into Photoshop, which is where I'm creating the map. It's really just that's the blog post image, by the way, for Fantasy Women. Kind of a little juxtaposition of what's wrong with them. So this is the map as it exists so far. It needs to be much bigger. Let's just make it, let's do that. Oh dear. Photoshop is like, nah. Oh, I adjusted the image size. Oh, that was totally 100% not what I meant to do. Here we go. Okay, so right now we've only really been working on the Kingdom of Selvin. Let's just get rid of this whole icy lands border thing. So what I kind of had envisioned for the world Whoops. So that is an ocean to the south. And just fill that in with blue so that we know it's an ocean. Maybe. Maybe Photoshop will let us do this. There we go. We'll create a new folder here called, I guess, topography. It's not really the right word, but that's for borders and land and water and all these things. And we'll put, what's in layer 3? Okay, so this is one very important thing. Oh, roads, right. So this is one very important thing when you're making a map is that you don't want to, you want to keep track of what your layers are. So, um, so these are all going to go in here. And I really, really need to organize these layers a lot better. I'm not going to do that right. I'm going to probably have to end up doing that as I go, basically. So, but this will be topography, and if I hide this, then everything's going to go away. Okay, so now we go back to so this is my roads and borders layer now. See, so that all black lines outlining where things happen all kind of happens in here. Whoops. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we select this space. Oh, good, it works kind of well. Oh, no, it doesn't. Doesn't at all. No. Delete you. Okay, so if we select that and then we do water and we do a fill, that very nicely becomes water. Yes, I like this. I like this quite a lot. So now I'm okay. So this is the latitudinal line below which things get icy and cold, because contrary to most fantasy, I have decided that we are in the southern hemisphere, and therefore it's colder in the south. I feel like I need more room on the left. Oh, well, whatever. We will create a new folder here called Selvin. And this will be, you know, the stuff around Selvin, so that if we hide that, pretty much the whole kingdom vanishes except for the roads and borders and everything like that. Although a lot of that stuff that didn't vanish should. So let's see what's supposed to go in here. Oh, capture is no longer a thing. Lauren meeting the caravan happens more like over here. And on roads and borders, this road is going to travel round about this way. And meet up with the King's Road over there. Lauren meets caravan obviously needs some of this little dealy. All right, so pretty much all this stuff belongs in the Selvin folder, so we'll just drop that in there. So this is the Kingdom of Selvin. If we hide it, everything vanishes except for the roads, which works. I'm okay with the roads staying there. You know, let's hop over and let's name some of our other kingdoms first. World, the Nine Kingdoms, Selvin. Somebody, I forget who at this moment in time, and I am very sorry, but whoops. Somebody gave me a fantastic name. I think I'm going to have to hop over to Twitter because I don't remember what that name was. Dorsey, that's right. Okay. All right, so that's the name of one of the kingdoms. No idea where it's going to be yet, but that's one of them. And that was from Zach Dozier. I've decided that everybody who helps me name something in an episode gets that episode for free. So I'm going to email Zach episode 4 once it's done. Oh, and Karen Conlin helped me name the inn. And there's some other really good name suggestions that I'm probably going to integrate into something at some point. Mm. Ooh, Hector Manuel Elias Oliver gave me a fantastic idea. That's going to be another one of the kingdoms, Idris. All right. Let's pop back over to the map. Hmm. There we go. I like that quite a lot. Whoops. So this is all just pretty random placement, and I'm trying to. I have never ever designed a map before. I've never really had a need to tremendously. Um, so this is all kind of random, and I'm trying to work out a way to do it where basically it's very easy to change. Like, so now I've figured out that if I can erase and paint blue on the oceans layer, then it will naturally establish the land borders. So that's a cool thing. Um, oops. Oh, that was easy. Oh no, what have I done? Balls. So we're just expanding the birchwood forest right now, and at some point we're going to need to figure out where the border of the Selvin is. So I think of the kingdom of Selvin is. I think that the northern border is going to be of Selvin is going to be the northern border of the Birchwood. Is the spine of the world already a thing? Oh, yeah, basically. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it totally is. Let's see. Well, that's not vitally important right now. What we do need is a mountain range, and we can figure out the name for it later. Ah, the Great Ridge Mountains. It's pretty much the worst name for a mountain range ever, but whatever. It's all just playing around right now. So they will form the west border of Selvin. So right now, we're looking at a border Whoops. That's quite a big kingdom. Although, honestly, that would make sense. Selvin is a very politically powerful and important kingdom because it's so close to the High King's seat, and High Kings are often chosen from are often Selvin kings are often elected to be the next High King because of their close relationship with the High King, simply due to where they're located. So I'm okay with that for now. So if that's the case, then we're going to need to extend the let's call them the Great Rock Mountains for now. Okay. And then we can mark the southern border with a big ol' fat river. All right, so that river will need to be named at some point, but we don't need to worry about it right now. All right. Now I think that at one point, I think that obviously Selvin needs to have a very major city down here because that makes sense. It's where the river mouth is, um, and it would give them control over the Southern Sea. Oh, that's a nice name for that, by the way. Let's just take care of that while we're on the subject. Hey, the Kingdom of Selvin is starting to come together. How awesome is that? Now, get rid of you, giant fucking label. Uh, So Selvin shall have a major city called Wavemouth for now. Feel free to suggest a name for a port city that would sit where the river would run into the Southern Sea. And in fact, I'll toss that up on Twitter as well, because I like inviting people to name things. Oh, Zach tweeted, awesome. Oh, okay. That was in response to my other thing. Okay, so let's say. Do 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 do. Okay, so so this is going to be a major city, obviously, a big center for trade, lots of interaction with the other kingdoms, and I like to think that maybe at one point Wavemouth, or whatever it'll be called, Wavemouth, was the capital of Selvin. But then when the High King's seat was established as the uh, focal point for the Nine Kingdoms, the capital was moved up here. Need to rename that, but it could be built on this nice little peninsula here. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Garsek. That's a good name for a capital. I like it. And I just realized that that actually can't be on that little peninsula. It has to be where the King's Road meets the ocean because the King's Road runs through all of the capital cities of all 9 kingdoms. It's a big feature of the King's Road. It's one of the reasons it's called the King's Road. Obviously, we're spending a lot of time on Selvin in this episode, but that's because all of season 1 takes place in Cabris, which is in Selvin, and most of season 2 is going to happen there as well, although I want season 2 to end with them leaving Selvin for the first time. Okay. All right, so now let's make what will be the biggest kingdom and also a perfect name. Our perfect kingdom to be named Dorsey. Bonus points if you have already guessed why it's called Dorsey. But if you haven't, I'll tell you. It's because it borders 3 seas. It's the only kingdom which is physically capable of bordering 3 seas, and it is the biggest one. Uh-oh. Who knew? And then you've got to have a kingdom that at least brushes into the icy lands. I like Idris for that. Trying to envision what the topography would look like, where the mountain ranges would be, because that would obviously play a huge role in where the borders of everything goes. Oh, I like that idea. Okay, so let's have one kingdom. that essentially guards this strait that leads right into the High King's seat. Um, what should we call them? Dolmen. I like that. From Old English warship. Herp a derp. Now, as the video nears its end, I feel the need to stress that I am not some master cartographer. I'm not somebody who necessarily knows exactly what he's doing. I'm merely somebody with a lot of persistence. So I know that what I'm doing is probably wildly different from how it's going to end up in its final, in the map's final form. And I'm okay with that. I strongly believe in the power of putting something down and then working it and working it and working it and working it and working it until you're happy with it. Bollocks. Okay. Well, there's my divisions. The hour is up, so I'm going to have to think up names for all these and whatnot in the next hour. But so these are the excuse me. These are the divisions as they stand right now, and we've got our 9 kingdoms, and we can start coming up with histories and cultures and how these all work. But one thing that I like about this um, is that one thing that I wanted to establish is that some of the kingdoms would be quite far away from the High King's seat, and those would be referred to as the far kingdoms. So you've got this area right over here on the right, the southern right kingdom, Calenton and Idris, and those are always sort of like, I don't know what's the best way to describe it. They're like Oregon and Washington and a lot of like the Midwestern U.S. where like they're not politically super important and they're not they just don't get involved in like so much of the drama of the 9 kingdoms and like the intrigue and whatever the hell. One thing that will be very interesting is to figure out how the King's Road is supposed to visit all 9 capitals, and I figured that it's going to have to split at some point. Either that, it could start in Calenton, make its way through Feldemar, run down to Dulman, along the border of Dorsey and Selvin, pop down into Idris, and then go north again and visit the 9 kingdoms. I was just pointing at my screen with my finger until I just realized that you can't see that. But that's one thing that I'm going to have to figure out. Isn't it fun building a world together? Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in for this hour of VlogaNovel. Again, you can order Nightblade Episode 4 on that link in the blue section of the screen, garrettbrobinson.com/nb-4. And if you haven't started this series yet, take a look. It's getting some pretty good reviews so far, and you can find it at garrettbrobinson.com/nb-1. That contains links for you to download it for free on all platforms: Amazon, iBooks, Kobo, Nook, everywhere. And then if you like the first free episode, you can review that and get the second episode for free as well. I know, kind of awesome. Again, this has been VlogaNovel. Make sure to subscribe if you like the show and want to see more of the shows. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Bye.